The number one reason why people die is by overextending, which is not easy to understand, but I'm gonna try because if you understand this, your performance will skyrocket. Overextending is not necessarily about a certain position, it's determined by the positioning of your team and the enemy team. And I hope to make this clear with some examples. First, I'll show you 5 very obvious ones to kind of make you understand the basics, and then I'll make them harder to spot. So I have 2 positions over here. Which one is overextended? It's this one, because if the enemy pushes on C, you are not able to get away without taking a lot of hits or dying. In this situation, you're in the same position, but your teammates are positioned in such a way that they can support you. So if the enemy decides to push you, they won't get away with it. Here's another scenario of being overextended. If your team decides to go north and you're here by yourself, the enemy team can just push you and you can't get away safely because you have to move through a lot of open ground and you're spotted. Here, your team is coming with you, you have support, the enemy can't just push in, get you for free, so you're safe, even though it's the exact same position. Once again, you're not able to run away safely if you're pushed by a lot of tanks because your team is not coming with you. The last obvious one is of course this. Don't go alone to A. You're overextended, your team is not with you, the enemy team can push you and kill you for free. To prevent this, you need to be aware of your team's positioning and ask yourself if you can get away safely if you get pushed right now. So I hope that was clear, and we'll move on to some harder examples. If you see red tanks on the map, that means they have been spotted. So this is the first scenario, and this is the second scenario. In which one are you overextended? It's this one, of course, because you don't know where the other 5 tanks are. If they decide to push D, you're dead. That's why you should wait for the majority of the enemy team to be spotted before moving up here. In this situation, you're actually overextending in both because the majority of your team went to A and you didn't know where the enemy was going at the start of the game. If those 5 tanks would have come to C, you were dead. The only difference here is being down or up. You're overextended if you're down low because the enemies can push through A and kill you. There's only 1 tank that can support you, and that's not enough. If you were up, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks able to cover you. If they want to push you out, your team will punish them harder than they can punish you. Over here, the only difference is the heavy. In one scenario is behind B, and in the other scenario he is going into the A corner. In which scenario are you overextended? It's of course this one, because nobody is contesting the A corner. The enemy can move up for free and shoot you in the side. In the other scenario, the heavy is in the A corner, which is why you can't come up there, because they will get shot by your teammate if they try to push and kill you. And while they're busy fighting the heavy, you can just fall back. That's why you're not overextended. Now we're on Winter Marinovka and you pushed up to the middle. In which scenario are you overextended? It's this one, of course. That's because you don't know where their team is. If all their tanks push A right now, you are dead. You don't know if they are or not, which is why you should wait. And just because you don't get punished doesn't mean it's not a mistake. Again, in which one are you overextended? It's this one, because in the first scenario there was a tank on A spotting, and right now there isn't, which means their enemies can close in and come behind you without you knowing and kill you, and you can't get away safely and will probably die. And lastly, these scenarios, in which one are you overextended? It's actually neither, because on one side their team went A, so there's nothing that can push you, and on the other side there's only 1 heavy that has moved up and not 4, and the 2 heavies in the back will shoot him if he peeks. That's why you're not overextended, because you will get a positive trade. Please tell me if it was clear or if I need to elaborate on something. That's all. See ya.